are these people?
Oh, there was one other thing that I wanted to get to here when it came to all of this. And none of the above and what's going to happen in Trump and everything else. Well, something did kind of happen.
You can do it, baby.
Something did kind of happen. And this happened, I think, yesterday. Yep. Brendan Carr is the new FCC Commissioner who replaced Ajit Pai. I believe Trump might have even appointed him. It could have been Biden too, but I'm pretty sure it was Trump. Brendan Carr is calling out big tech for its role in what he calls a censorship cartel. Huh.
Censorship?
In letters to Alphabet, Apple, Meta, and Microsoft, Carr demands answers on their censorship practices, fact-checking partnerships, and ad agency collaborations over the past 4 years. What I love the best is, from Reclaim the Net, Carr links this activity to NewsGuard, a self-proclaimed news rating system which he argues disproportionately targets conservative outlets while giving better ratings to Chinese state media, which is weird.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, not buying that.
But they also discredit independent media like the Gray Zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and whatever they're calling Chinese state media too, I'm sure is not accurate.
Well, CGN TV is definitely Chinese state media. So the article reads that, and it's written to the CEOs.
Yeah, but to act like that's any better or different than CNN, MSNBC, Fox, Telemundo, well, those are state sponsored too.
What they're doing here is talking about specifically the Twitter file stuff and how NewsGuard has coordinated and collaborated with other organizations that they should not be as a private entity that's scoring these people that deems a conflict of interest, which has hurt their businesses.
Right.
Not these businesses, but the ones that have been targeted. And that's a problem for the FCC and should be a problem for the FCC. And I'm glad they're looking at this. But it reads that over the past few years, Americans have lived through an unprecedented surge in censorship. Your companies played significant roles in this improper conduct. Big tech companies silenced Americans for doing nothing more than exercising their First Amendment rights. They targeted core political, religious, and scientific speech. And they worked often in concert with so-called media monitors and others to defund, demonetize, and otherwise put out of business news outlets and organizations that dared to deviate from an approved narrative.
Regulators.
Yeah. Congressional investigations, press reports, and other evidence show that in many cases you did not act alone. Rather, you participated in a censorship cartel that not only technology and social media companies, but advertising, marketing, and so-called fact-checking organizations, as well as the Biden-Harris administration itself. The relevant conduct, the relevant conduct extended from removing or blocking social media posts to labeling whole websites or apps as untrustworthy or high risk. See Consortium News and Off Guardian for that one. Or
Mondo Weiss and all the others.
DJ Hopkins, Consent Factory, in an apparent effort to suppress their information and viewpoints, including through efforts to delist them, lower their rankings, or harm their profitability. This censorship cartel is an affront to Americans' constitutional freedoms and must be completely dismantled. I'm going to read that again, because that, again, from the commissioner of the FCC seems vaguely important.
But you can't be any geek off the street.
This censorship cartel is an affront to Americans' constitutional freedoms and must be completely dismantled. Americans must be able to reclaim their right to free speech. Tell that to the guy who's about to enter the White House, Brendan. Indeed, our democracy.
Yeah, Brendan.
Indeed, our democracy depends on freedom of expression. I am confident.
Allegedly.
I am confident that once the ongoing transition is complete, the administration and Congress will take broad-ranging actions to restore the First Amendment rights that the Constitution grants to all Americans. Are you high? And those actions can include both a review of your company's activities as well as efforts by third-party organizations and groups that have acted to curtail those rights. The majority Republicans in the Senate and House that are coming in allegedly are looking to investigate that. But they all own shares in all these companies, guys. They don't want to look too deep. Joker. For now, I'm writing to obtain information from you that can inform the FCC's work to promote free speech and a diversity of viewpoints. As you know, Big Tech's Prize Liability Shield, Section 230, is codified in the Communications Act, which the FCC administers. As relevant here, Section 230 only confers benefits on big tech companies when they operate, in the words of the statute, in good faith. It is in this context that I am writing to obtain information about your work with one specific organization, the Orwellian named NewsGuard.
Yay! You might as well throw Palantir in, too.
Hey, man, brother. Oh, they can't do that because Palantir runs the Intel community. They're not allowed to do that. But they'll
stop them.
No, they'll happily throw NewsGuard to the wolves and then set up shop across the street as something new tomorrow with the same people and same actors. It's a lot harder to do that to Palantir, a publicly traded company that's embedded in the entire intelligence community as their core operating software. Little bit of a different thing, okay? But I love this, all right? NewsGuard is a for-profit company that operates as a part of the broader censorship cartel. Indeed, NewsGuard bills itself as the internet's arbiter of truth, or as its co-founder put it, a vaccine against misinformation, quote unquote. Holy shit. We talked about NewsGuard a year ago because Consortium News is suing NewsGuard. NewsGuard purports to rate the credibility of news and information outlets and tells readers and advertisers which outlets they can trust, which is garbage. As the U.S. House Committee on Small Business, go ahead.
No, I was just laughing. It's just a little giggle.
Okay. So as the U.S. House Committee on Small Business 2024 staff report said, these ratings combined with NewsGuard's vast partnerships in the advertising industry select winners and losers in the news media space. And they've deemed that independent media and independent outlets that don't bend the knee to the State Department narrative are losers and will be losers. Bellingcat will be a winner. The Gray Zone will be a loser. The Intercept will be a winner.
Bunch of losers.
The Jimmy Dore Show, or even Due Dissidence to a point, will not be. Sabby Sabs, congrats on 150,000 subs, but still not getting to the levels that any of these news organizations will likely be getting to anytime soon, or the algorithmic help that people like Breaking Points, for example, okay, because they have people that play ball on their shows. Like it says that NewsGuard does so by leveraging its partnerships with advertising agencies to effectively censor targeted outlets.
Mm-hmm.
NewsGuard also works with web browsers, including Google's Chrome, Apple's Safari, and Microsoft's Bing. NewsGuard is partnered with Bing. Bing, get the fuck out of here, NewsGuard. NewsGuard is partnered with social media companies, and it offers products for AI systems and app stores. In other words, your products may use NewsGuard. Go say that.
Use
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Most of the time. or you may enable your customers to use NewsGuard. But
Hey, Siri.
NewsGuard's own track record raises questions about whether relying on the organization's products would constitute good faith actions within the meaning of Section 230. If you've literally turned over your content moderation to these shitlibs that make stuff up hysterically without fact checking, yeah, you might be subject to a violation of Section 230.
Mm-hmm.
For one, reports indicate, here we go, that NewsGuard has consistently rated official propaganda from the Communist Party of China as more credible than American publications. Well, I would tend to agree with them in some cases, but maybe. Depends on the source they're talking about.
China.
Those guys, yes. For another, NewsGuard aggressively fact-checked and penalized websites that reported on the COVID-19 lab leak theory. Safe and effective YouTube. Safe and effective YouTube.
Very safe. Very effective.
Watch your profanity.
For still another, the Small Business Committee and multiple media research center studies detail numerous instances where NewsGuard apparently does not apply its own rating system in an even-handed manner. Nah.
Okay.
The list goes on.
That's nice.
All right. Indeed, NewsGuard is the subject of an ongoing investigation by the U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Accountability for its impact on protected First Amendment speech. Good. It's not going to do anything, but good. And while NewsGuard claims that its mission is to provide apolitical guidance on misinformation, NewsGuard undercuts this claim by retaining on its advisory board at least one person that signed the now infamous October 2020 letter from former intelligence community officials that flamed the false claim that the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation, a letter that itself fueled a wave of censorship. I gotta say, I'm this guy, I don't know. Yes, I don't necessarily like Brendan Carr by nature, but this is
Russian scum.
In a lot of ways is good, in other ways is China fear-mongering on behalf of an incoming Trump administration. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
It can do more than one thing, but at the same time, it is calling out some very important things here. To help inform FCC action, please provide me with the following. I want a list of every one of your products or services, if including any advertising, that use or rely on any NewsGuard product, service, or ranking. And that's all of them. I want a list of every one of your products or services that enables any of your users or customers to use or rely on any NewsGuard product, service, or ranking. That's a lot of them. Like the things that they sell to other businesses or cloud services, or things that include a news feed where they're monitoring and pumping a news feed that's curated through a NewsGuard filter. If you offer an advertising service, provide details on the use of any media monitor or fact-checking service, including NewsGuard, that you may utilize. Also fair. I would also say if that's internal, I would want to know about that too. If you use
what was the?
Huh?
It was about a couple of 6-7 months ago or whatever when all those computers blue screened. What was that from? What software was that?
That was a Microsoft glitch, some kind of a bug.
Yeah, but it was through a system that had that problem.
I remember that.
It was mainly government.
Yeah, people that wasn't it like all the airport systems,
government and
down?
Corporate. Yeah. So
CrowdStrike.
That's what it was.
Thank you, KM4Ooze.
Yeah.
All right. If you use third-party advertising or marketing agencies to enable advertising within or with your products, please identify the advertising or marketing agencies you work or partner with. So, like we're going to talk about a couple of these agencies in about 5 minutes. So we're going to have a good time with this. I appreciate your prompt attention to this initial request. It can help to ensure that a true diversity of viewpoints can flourish in this country, envisioned by the First Amendment. Please complete your response by December 10th. So we will be watching. Thank you, Brett. About time an FCC commissioner actually did something, honestly. Like, he may suck in general. That, I want to see what this is.
You got no friends in Washington, D.C.
All right. That would be very cool to actually, like, shut down NewsGuard. And I noticed that one of the other agencies will be also losing its funding as of next month and shutting down. One of the big censorship agencies. Now, before we do that, I need to make sure that I know I didn't update this slide, so I want to do that. Support. And I want to make sure that this one is the right one. So what's up, everyone? Talk amongst yourselves. And
what is it? The sandwiches?
No, that's coffee.
Soft drinks.
Coffee talk with Paul Baldwin. That was the old
Gotcha.
SNL sketch. We have gotten some new supporters, and we are eternally grateful for it.
Wow, incredible.
Yes. So we updated the slide. It's now called the Wall of Fame. We made some more room for more people to be able to be added to that wall because we were filling up pretty nice. Thank you so much for that. We are still a couple $100 away from paying off Zago for all of the illustrations, and that's going to be great when we do that.
Great success.
It has been a great success.